Hello, this is Stephen Whitfield with Drilling Contractor. Today I'll be joined by Gavin Rennick, Vice President of HR at Schlumberger, for a discussion on a number of topics surrounding the oil and gas industry workforce, including the nature of work in a post-COVID environment and the role that HR leaders can play in shaping their organizations. Mr. Rennick, thank you very much for joining me today.
Hi, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
I'll start with this. You're Vice President of HR for a global company that has more than 80,000 employees representing 160 nationalities. So from that perspective, what are some of the biggest trends and or challenges that you've seen over the past year when it comes to the oil and gas workforce?
What a great question, and what an interesting year it's been. I think when we look at all of the challenges that we faced in the last year, be it COVID, be it the changes in the industry, really, we can talk about five, I guess, key areas. The first and the most important one was safety. So making sure that our employees continue to be safe in the COVID environment was our number one priority. Number two was around business continuity, ensuring that we were able to continue to operate our business, be this by rapidly moving our workforce to remote or to work from home environment, but more importantly, ensuring that we were delivering services to maintain the business continuity for our customers was really important. The third was around customers, staying close to them, understanding their plans, the challenges that they were facing, working closely with our structure customers was important. In fact, during the last year, we restructured the whole company to be much better aligned with our customers. For instance, in well construction, we have all of the different businesses and products associated with well construction, from cementing to fluids, directional drilling, now in one division with one manager close to our customers on the ground. The fourth and probably the most foundational was around looking after our people. And within the company, we talk about treating them with care, treating them with respect, and staying close to our people during difficult times. And we have examples of numerous things that we've done over the last year, from extending medical benefits through to advancing employee assistance programs that support things like mental health to be able to do that, as well as maintaining recruiting, maintaining training and development and things like that in a virtual way, which we had to stand up in a short period of time to be able to look after our people through that period of time, right? And of course, then there is a big trend and topic and discussion around what we are doing as a company and indeed as an industry around sustainability and environmental. And I think that's going to continue to be part of the discussion that we have on an ongoing way, in a much bigger way going forward.
With travel still limited around the world and many offices shut down to facilitate social distancing, companies have embraced remote operations as something of a workaround. What long-term impacts do you foresee in the way we work moving forward? Is remote work going to be the new normal for the industry?
So if there is one positive thing we will take away from the crisis, it has opened our eyes to what is possible in terms of remote and what we prefer to refer to as flexible work. And I believe it will absolutely change the way we work moving forward, right? And I think that flexible work, which is different combinations and styles of remote work, is here to stay, but probably in most cases not as we are currently working as a result of COVID. So if we look at two buckets of our population, currently our office-based staff have been teleworking since February last year, about 45% of our operation. We took an approach that before we opened up any facility, those staff would look at what is the flexible work arrangement that they wanted to work in going forward. And they needed to then do that within a particular framework we gave them, and pilot it for a period of time to learn from it before we institutionalize or finalize any new work model. We have 25 of those pilots going on right now. And what we've learned is, different things work, different styles of flexible work better for different types of work. So our manufacturing employees, supply chain employees, people working, developing software, people working, developing new products and hardware, and our operations teams all have slightly different models that work better for them. And we started to understand which of those models work, how they can be institutionalized. That will absolutely change the way that different parts of our company deploy and use flexible work going forward. Now, in terms of operations, really the focus there has been on remote work. We have over 60% of our operations being monitored by our remote ops or our performance live service in different places around the world. That grew rapidly. I think it grew 25% between Q1 and Q2 last year as the real impact of COVID kicked in. What is interesting is, again, it's opened the eyes of our own employees and our customers to what's possible. It's provided a real, impetus for change. And just to give you some examples, we've drilled over 27 million feet, drilled and logged remotely in the last year. And crews that used to require 5 people working offshore in the Gulf of Mexico on a deep water rig are now working with 1 person, and with the remainder of the staff supporting the job remotely, delivering the same level of service. And what's really interesting from some of these experiences that we've had and pilots that we've had is not only are our employees happier and able to work in that environment, the technology has proven to be robust. In some cases, we've had it for many years, and our customers are happier and are extremely happy with the level of service that we're providing. So I think fundamentally, to answer your question, we will change the work models that we deploy in the industry and certainly within the company moving forward.
Given the current economic landscape where so many companies are just focused on surviving, how can leaders in HR functions convince their organizations to keep a priority on workforce development and training?
Great question. So fundamentally, we believe that the companies that will be successful in the future are successful through their people. Within our DNA, training and development has been part of our DNA for decades. And at a corporate level, we are committed to being a continuously learning organization. And to do that, you need to maintain your focus in all environments on recruiting, on learning at all levels and at all times through an employee's career, and really on investing in people to ensure that you have the right skill set and in a skillful and progressive workforce. And that companies that do that, and certainly that's something we strive to do, will have an advantage through their people and a competitive differentiation through their people. So to give you some examples, we maintained our recruiting at different universities at much reduced levels, but across the last 12 months. So we continue to recruit people from university. We kept, we had 350 trainees, graduates who had just joined the company. We were able to deploy a full virtual program and maintain those graduates progressing in their development through that period of time, and get them real experience sometimes through remote operations. We continued to actually deploy new training and development models. For instance, we've rolled out digital training programs across our entire operations, our entire organization, to upskill all of the people that within our workforce that need the skill sets around digital. And we are continuing to do that. And we did that through the last year. And then one of the other areas that we've been investing in quite a lot is in leadership training, and ensuring that our managers, from the time they first become a manager, have the skill set they need to be what's required for a manager of the future. And this is around valuing transparency, valuing diversity, creating inclusive environment, and being able to really get them maximize the performance of their people. And so I think that this has never been a more important time in some ways for companies to keep a priority on the development of their people, because it's going to be the fundamental ingredient in what makes them succeed or not going forward.
The industry is in a period of uncertainty right now, not only in the short term with the oil price downturn, but in the long term. And you've mentioned this with ESG concerns, sustainability concerns, and just overall public perception about the industry. So how does Schlumberger recruit in a period like this? how can we better compete with other industries for the best talent?
Well, I think it's true that talent acquisition, acquiring that talent, recruiting people, and then retaining and developing them is absolutely fundamental to a company's success. It always has been, and it is going to be even more so in a modern world where the competition for talent, as you say, continues to heat up. Right? And as a company, we think about this in a couple of different ways. The first one is really around, interestingly, diversity. When you recruit from the broadest, widest possible talent pool, you get access to the most talent. And you know, we've always recruited globally from the different places we work around the world, and really we're looking to expand our recruiting to make sure that we are able to effectively target and recruit from the most diverse possible talent pool, right? I think some of the things that we do too are to sponsor initiatives that broaden that talent pool. Women in Science and Technology is a good example where we have a history now of supporting women in technical fields. But the second part, I think, beyond broadening the talent pool, is that a candidate today really wants to know what you're about as a company. And you know, for us, we are fortunate, we have a very clearly stated purpose as a company, and that is that together we create amazing technology that unlocks access to energy for the benefit of all. And our people and our new candidates joining the company, they know what this reflects, that this reflects what we're about. They know that we're about our people working together as teams. They know that our focus is around creating incredible technology. They know that what we want to do is provide and help provide the world with energy. And they know that we want to do that anywhere in a sustainable way. And really, I think it is important for us to explain to our candidate pool of our prospective employees of the future what our position on these things are. Employees want to be informed on what the company's thinking and where it's going about key topics like this. We talked in the area of ESG, for instance. We talk to our employees about our targets to decarbonize our operations, to reduce our scope 1 and 2 emissions by 30% by 2025. We talk to them about how we help our customers. We have over 100 technologies that are helping our customers improve their ESG, achieve their ESG goals, and so on and so forth. And then we have a new division, Schlumberger New Energy, that is exploring different technologies and businesses that are promoting the carbon neutral and carbon reduction agenda. And I think that when you are able to talk about these issues that are really often foremost in the minds of prospective employees, you're able to recruit and address the talent pool extremely well. And I think that the diversity of our workforce, the clarity of what it is that we give to our employees, the career opportunities that we provide them, and the exciting work that they get to do in whatever role they come into the company for, are some of the tools that we need to use effectively to compete for talent in the current world. And so far, you know, we maintain our rating in the latest ratings in the top quartile of companies that graduates coming out of the universities in which we recruit want to join, and we're working very, very hard to continue to maintain that position.
So you've mentioned this a couple of times today, but I'll ask this question. How much of a priority is diversity for Schlumberger when it comes to its workforce? What mechanisms do you have in place to either ensure or promote diversity within your organization?
So, look, diversity has been a priority for the company really from very, very early in our history. Let's start with nationality diversity, right? We've taken a position from very early in the company's history that we wanted to recruit and employ people from all of the different countries in the world where we work. And today we have over 160 nationalities represented within the company. Indeed, there are 20 of those nationalities within our senior leadership team. So, you know, nationality diversity has been part of our DNA for a very, very long time, as indeed has been international development of those people from those different countries. Now, in terms of gender diversity, we set our first target in the mid-90s, where we wanted women to be 15% of our salaried workforce, right? So we got to that goal around the end of this first decade. And now we are working towards having women being more than 25% of our salaried workforce by 2025, and we are making excellent progress. Indeed, in the last year, we improved the gender diversity in the company, but at almost 3 times the rate we have for the decade before. And so this continues to be a priority, and it's extremely important to us going forward. Now, in terms of the other dimensions of diversity, it's whether that's religion, whether that's sexual orientation, whether that's any of the other dimensions of diversity, we really want to make sure that we are creating an inclusive environment where we can have the most diverse population and have every one of our employees feel that they are being supported and they have an opportunity to do their best work in that environment. And there are many, many things to address. We are really just at the start of that inclusion journey. And there are very practical things, and I'll give you some examples. Things like childcare support for single parents that are an important part of our workforce. Things like parental leave and so on and so forth. Things like improving access to the right facilities when we work with our customers around operations. All of these things are practical things that we need to do to help improve. And then the other part of that is around, there's removing bias to all parts of your development process, removing bias in recruiting, removing bias in the selection process. And really, there are 2 things. One, having in place a process that really reveals biases in any of your processes is important. And secondly, using data and analytics to reveal bias unconsciously and consciously. Our recruiters right now have digital tools which show them unconscious biases they may have in their own selection decisions to allow them to address them. And this is the sort of use of technology to reveal bias that will help drive us forward in terms of diversity going forward. And there are many, many other things that we need to do and are indeed progressing on. But what's really important to us when it comes down to it is that for all of these diverse candidates we recruit, every one of them feels that they can progress in the company based on their performance and what they're able to deliver. And this concept of meritocracy has been very, very much a fundamental part of our DNA for a long time and is strengthening as part of our diversity and inclusion agenda moving forward.
So lastly, getting a bit into your career experience here, you've been an engineer and you've worked in software and technology development. So how does your experience in those positions help inform the decisions that you have to make now in your current position?
Look, my job really it's about people and it's about culture. And what I firmly believe is that it's our people that drive our success, and it's our culture and the environment that we create for them to work that enables their success, and as a result, the company's success, right? Now, as a company, we are fundamentally a technology company. So being an engineer that's had the opportunity, as you said, to work in software, to work in the development of technology, but also to work in operations and in different functional positions, what it does is it gives me an understanding of what it feels like to be an employee in those different parts of our organization. And I work hard to try to maintain an ability to have that perspective by engaging with employees across the company, whenever and wherever I get an opportunity. And really, it's that ability to understand how our employees think, what motivates them, what doesn't motivate them, by the way, that allows us and allows me to be able to make decisions in a way that we can energize, motivate, and really create that culture and that environment for employees to reach their full potential, while taking into account where we want to go and how we want and what we want to achieve as a company.
Well, thanks again for taking the time to speak with me today, Mr. Rennick. We appreciate your insights on the ins and outs of the industry workforce, and it will be interesting to see how oil and gas fits within a shifting landscape moving forward. So thanks again.
Thank you, Stephen.
And thank you for visiting Drilling Contractor.